Welcome to the class of neural networks. Today we'll be starting with pattern recognition task by feedback neural networks. In the earlier class, we have completed the concept of pattern recognition task by using the feed-forward neural network model, in which we have covered about pattern association, pattern classification, and pattern mapping. And in this lecture we'll be trying to cover the pattern recognition task with respect to feedback neural networks. If possible, we'll also try to cover the pattern recognition tasks by competitive neural networks, that is the combination of the two, that is the feed forward and feedback neural networks. So here you have auto association problem. Earlier you had pattern association, pattern classification, and pattern mapping. So in the auto association, if each of the output patterns BL in a neural network or pattern of a neural network, you can say, so it is very much clear to you that here we are considering A as the inputs and B as your outputs, as we have already know with respect to the earlier considerations. So we'll move further and observe whatever the similarities and whatever the changes occurring in the further content. So the output BL BL in the pattern association problem is identical to the corresponding input pattern AL. The output pattern space is identical to the input pattern space. In such a case, the problem becomes an auto association problem. So what he wants to say, if each of the output pattern BL in a pattern association problem is identical to the corresponding input pattern AL, then the output pattern space is identical to the input pattern space. So the considered area of the input and output is also same if the input is identical to the output. This he wants to say, which is illustrated with an example. So you might be seeing here that the inputs are here A1, A2, and here also the inputs are A1, A2, so on, similar to the outputs are also similar to the inputs, same as the input, and the points are also same. So what is that meaning is that since the inputs and outputs are identical, the space of this, that is the complete this complete output block is similar to your input block. So this identical nature, which creates a identical space for the input as well as the output, is referred to as auto association task. Okay, this is a trivial case where the network merely stores the given set of inputs. So inputs are being stored, that is the input patterns are being stored. When a noisy input pattern is given, remember noisy means which is not of your training data set. Okay, so remember in neural networks you have training data set and test data set. First we provide the training data set so that the network can understand, so and then we provide the test data set. So based on the training data set we can obtain the results for the test data set. Okay, so when a noisy input pattern is given, the network retrieves the same noisy pattern, thus there is an absence of the accretive behavior. So here the accretive behavior is absent. Okay, so next here we'll move towards pattern storage problem. So first was auto association problem, second is your pattern storage problem. In auto association problem, if a given input pattern is stored in a network, in auto association problem, if an input pattern is stored in a given network, so input is being stored for later recall by an approximate input pattern, the problem becomes a pattern storage problem. Any input vector close to stored input pattern will recall the input pattern exactly from the network, and thus network displays accretive behavior. So when you are storing the network, it calls the accurate output for it from the called input. So this behavior is also defined as accretive behavior. So you can see exact behaviors are been obtained over here. So whatever the inputs, it is providing the output over here. So same as inputs, but points could be different from the input pattern to be stored. So this consequences occurred in pattern storage problem. Now, and thus the network display, this point is covered. The stored patterns could be, so here the patterns are being stored. The stored patterns could be the same as the input patterns given during training. It can be similar to your training data also. In such a case, the input pattern space is a continuous one. Obviously, the output input gets easily known, so it is a continuous process. And the output space consists of a fixed finite set of stored patterns corresponding to some of the points in the input pattern space. The stored patterns could also be transformed versions of the input patterns, but of the same dimension as the input space. In such case, the stored patterns may correspond to different points in the input space. So here points might be different over here, as already told in the diagram. Due to this accretive behavior, the pattern storage network is very useful in practice. Why it is preferable? Because it is storing particular value and it is showing that particular value only. It is also incorporating the feature of understanding the inputs and outputs and trying to produce the accurate output of it. Okay, since it is storing the value of it, so it becomes a little bit easier to obtain the result. So when this kind of practice has been repeated, this becomes very good to obtain the output. Now coming to the last one in this, that is the pattern environment storage problem. Here, if a set of patterns together with their probabilities of occurrence are specified, here a set of patterns together with their probabilities of occurrence, this might occur, means the probability, then the resulting specification is called pattern environment. So this is referred as pattern environment. The design of a network to store a given pattern environment aims at recall of the stored pattern with the lowest probability of error. This is called pattern environment storage problem. Okay, so this is the pattern environment storage problem. So here if you see the pattern recognition task, which is done by the feedback neural network, comprises of the three things. One is auto association problem, second is pattern storage problem, third is the pattern environment storage problem. Okay, so now we'll be moving towards the third model, that is the competitive learning neural network model. So this third one, that is the competitive neural network learning model, this model comprises of the combination of the feed forward and feedback neural network model. Okay, so this model is referred as competitive learning model. So here you have temporary pattern storage, pattern clustering problem, feature mapping problem. Yes, so these three concepts are covered over here. So we'll start with the temporary pattern storage. If a given input pattern is stored in a network, even in a transformed form, in such a way that the problem remains only until a new pattern input is given, then the problem becomes that of a short-term memory of temporary storage problem. This is only of academic interest. So it's nothing but when you have a new value that has been coming, till then the old value has been stored. So this is called as a temporary storage problem, because the pattern, that is the input pattern, that the input pattern that was available is been stored until a new pattern has been given. So there is a storage of the memory, and this is mainly of an academic interest. Okay, why? Because when you go in practical usage, you don't all the inputs gets very much fastly updated. So this is not of a concern over there, but mostly this happens, mostly not always, it happens only in the academic, where a predefined or a set of inputs are being given, so as for them to understand the concept. So this happens in academics. Okay, now coming to the next one, that is the pattern clustering problem. So here, in a given set of patterns, if they are grouped according to similarity of the patterns, then the resulting problem is called pattern clustering. So here the patterns are being grouped according to their similarity. So this is referred as pattern clustering problem. So this has been illustrated in this figure, that is 3.11, where you have two consequences. One is the accretive, second one is the interpolative. Okay, two types of pattern clustering tasks that are observed over here, and the term accretive and interpolative we have already studied in the previous lectures. What does that mean with respect to neural network? Okay, here there are two types of problems. So the first case is your accretive behavior, the second one is your interpolative behavior that I've already shown you in the diagram. So here in the first one, that is your accretive behavior, if an input pattern not belonging to any group is presented, so the input what you have given does not belong to any group, then the network will force it into one of the groups. It will force to add in the any group. The input pattern space is typically a continuous space, that it is a continuous space, the input pattern space. The test input patterns could be the same as the ones used in the training or could be different. Obviously it could be similar or different. The output pattern space consists of a set of cluster centers or labels. So the second type is your interpolative behavior. In this case, a test input pattern not belonging to any group produces an output which is some form of interpolation of the output patterns or cluster centers depending upon the proximity of the test input patterns to the input pattern groups formed during training. So as itself, you know from the name interpolative, you know that and obviously from the previous lecture also you have covered that the interpolative means it tries to generate the output from the set of the inputs which is not, it does not have that from the set of the data of the inputs and outputs. Then also it tries to generate an output of its own from referring the test training data what it has. Okay, that is the training data of the inputs and outputs. Pattern clustering also leads to problem of vector quantization. Okay, so this pattern clustering leads you to the problem of vector quantization. Okay, now coming to the last part of this competitive model, that is the feature mapping problem. Okay, in the pattern clustering problem, a group of approximately similar input patterns are identified with a fixed output pattern or a group label. On the other hand, if similarities of the features of the input patterns have to be retained in the output, then problem becomes one of feature mapping. So here, if similarities of the feature of the input patterns have to be retained in the output, so if you want to retain the properties, that is the patterns of the input in the output, then this becomes a problem of feature mapping. Okay, in this, a given set of input patterns are mapped onto output patterns in such a way that the proximity of the output pattern reflects similarity of the feature of the corresponding input pattern. Obviously it will be reflecting because we are trying to map it. Okay, when a test input pattern is given, it will generate an output which is in the neighborhood of the outputs for similar patterns. Note that the typical number of output patterns are fixed, but they are much larger than the pattern clustering case. The quantity over here is more when compared to the clustering, and they are organized physically in the network such a way that the neighborhood pattern labels reflect closeness of the features. The closeness of the feature availability is over here. So this was about your what you say feature mapping problem in competitive model. Now here I'll go a little bit starting to the unit. So here you can see these are the things that are mainly in this unit. So basically these are the models that are available for pattern recognition task, in which you have various undergone more 3 subtopics which you can see over in the screen. So one thing I want to make it very much clear over here in the neural networks is that since you know very much well what is a neural network, what is the model structure of the neural network, which you refer as the mathematical structure, or you can also and you also know the block diagram of the neural network, and the subject is much more elaborated to you as you are proceeding in the 3rd unit. If you see that here when you are coming to the pattern recognition task, pattern is nothing but a set of inputs, data inputs, for which the neural network is making a pattern. Okay, so here the test input does not have only the inputs, sorry, the training data does not have only the inputs, it also has the inputs and the outputs. Why means, first it has a data set which comprises the inputs and output, where the neural network understands the inputs and to what inputs, what outputs it is getting. So it is understanding the inputs as well as the outputs. So in the training data you are having the inputs as well as the outputs. So the neural network is understanding that for this particular inputs you are getting this particular output or outputs. So here in the training data I want to say that you have the inputs as well as the output. So the neural network is trying to get related, understand that for these inputs you get this output. So what happens after this, we try to provide a different data set, so that using the trained data it tries to obtain the result, so that we can have a prediction that we are getting an output like this, and we can have for a particular problem that we can have this particular output of it. So based on a test data, training data, we try to obtain results for the test data. So the training data itself has the input and the outputs, so as to have the results of a test data. So here the different topologies and the different methodologies that are being observed in different ways, the output is being obtained with respect to your trained data, and the various consequences that are being arose and implemented in your training data and your tested data are being studied in this particular pattern recognition models, that is your feed forward, feedback, and feed forward and feedback, which is also referred as competitive learning. So in a basic understanding, which is a fundamental requirement, I want to say you that you have a training data, you have a test data. So in the training data you comprise of, means your training data comprises of the inputs as well as the outputs to which the neural network is being trained. So when the test data is being given, it tries to obtain the accurate or nearby accurate results of the test data based upon your trained data. So the result obtained of the test data can be with respect to the different models, as its operation is different for different models which you have studied over here. So if you have any doubts, you can feel free to comment. Thank you.